Okay, welcome to the third LAE Comp video. Um, this is the email that you'll receive from us, or a draft of this email. By now you've gotten many of these, so you should know kind of the deal. But as you know, you get the deadline, etc. We're going to click on the third LAE Comp instructions on the SharePoint. This should pull up this nice page. And then obviously the fake kind of third LAE file that will look like your um, the file that you would have for your real article. We might add, there might be a sources folder in here too. I just didn't feel like adding one in. So third LAE comp is probably the trickiest because, as this states, you're basically checking to make sure that the second edit was done well, and also you're doing it by running a compare in Word. I don't know, I'm sure many of you have run a compare before, but I figured I'd put together this short video to make sure that everyone kind of knows how to do it and also what we're looking for. So first things first, you're um, pulling up version 8 and version 9 out of both of them should be in your folder like they are here. I don't know if this is kind of a common way to do this, but this is how I open these files. Just do open Microsoft Word, and then really the most important thing out of this stage to know is that we want you to make sure that you're saving a copy locally to your laptop rather than like doing this um, as the autosave. Obviously, no, I'm not doing simultaneous editing. We just don't want you to simultaneously edit version 8 or version 9 doing this. I'm not actually sure if you could do it, but it kind of alleviates any chance that there's mixed up versions because, as we know, we want to keep the versions extremely, extremely correct and in line with each other so that we kind of have a logical progression of the article being edited. All right, so here's version 9. I'm just going to save it locally like I just did version 8. X out of there. Okay, now the next step is to open a blank Word document per the instructions on third LAE Comp. So here's our blank document. Then we go to Review, Compare, Compare Documents. The original document needs to be version 8. And then the revised document is, of course, version 9. And then this has popped up for me every time I've like run a practice run on recording this video. So I'm just gonna click yes to this. I think it doesn't actually do anything, and we're just continuing with the comparison. Like it doesn't change what the core of what we're trying to do is, at least since I've gone through it. All right, so this pulls up a compare and it shows you the changes that have made throughout this document. Here's the first kind of substantive change we've arrived at. I'm gonna touch on what to do with the comments later. Shout out Kelly. But so here I was apparently on second edit and I chose to start blue booking in advance of just the typical like second edit function, whatever you're supposed to do. So I click on here and if I am now you, the LAE, my job is to make sure that this is correct. So I look up on my blue book, Tulane is 2UL, so Matt's right. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna click accept up here. And the key thing to notice here is that you accepted the side change on here. I don't know if there's probably like some word of art for it, but I'm just gonna call it the side change. But it's still listed in the article itself that this TUL was changed. I really want you to keep that. What you could do is you could just go that, and it would also just kind of like reverse that change. It would make sure that it would on the highlight Tulane, it wouldn't reverse the change. It would keep the change. Um, but I want to just keep this in there so that I can see and we can see what changes were made, even though the side's not going to be there anymore. So I'll just go through that. This looks good. Can do that a few times. And then per the instructions, I'll just pull those up here again. Yep, obviously do not want to hit accept all. Don't accept incorrect changes. Here's a point that I want to make. So review any major issues should have identified with comment bubbles. Keep any member comments that indicate Blue Book or TLR changes. So it looks like Kelly made a couple TLR change or a couple Blue Book changes. Um, she agreed with my 2-lane comment and then a couple others. So let's say I see that Kelly did that and I agree with it. I would like you to respond to that comment instead of just ignoring it. So I would say something like, I agree with Kelly, change accepted, just to make sure that we know that you saw everything that was changed. Because inevitably, if there's a comment bubble, there's no comment on. I'm not sure why that worked. I think it had something to do with why these versions are old. But I just want to make sure that everyone saw every change that was made and that you gave it the green light because we obviously are trusting you at this point to make sure that the second editors and the binder book poll people have done a good job. So you'd go through the article and do basically what I just did on that page. You'd check in with this, and respond to all comments. Once you finally responded to all comments and made sure that all these changes are either accepted or declined, I would like you to save it as a new document per the instructions. So version 10, this is now going to be called. So file, save as VO10, V10, Gordon, Rico, whatever this article is called. Rico had a birthday. Save. Okay, great. And then you're gonna obviously upload it back into the fake the fake SharePoint. The third LAE comp also mentions that we want to make sure that the source folder is correct. And if I had in my examples included an example of me making a substantive change based on a source, I would like you to make sure that we're going back into that source folder, which would be here, and just double checking that that was correct of the member to make that change. Because at the end of the line, if you just accept that change, we probably won't be able to see it. We won't know that you changed it. And it could be wrong, and we don't really want to obviously publish wrong pin sites because the entire point of going through this giant edit process is to make sure that anything printed in our journal is backed up by correct sources and reputable sources. So it could be as simple as forgetting to do that and someone looking up that footnote and then emailing us. Um, that that could be just a simple mistake that devolves into something we don't want to happen with our written work. So just make sure that you're following the instructions here. And then in terms of number 8, this is also a nice little memo that will spring us forward into kind of the final half of the edit stage. In my opinion, this is sort of you're pretty busy up until third LAE comp, and then it kind of springs forward. The article at least does into the back half. So this at this point, we've been through second edit and binder book pull, so you should be able to update the sub-editor who, if you recall, has not seen the piece since the very early stages of it. Update them on anything that you see wrong with it, and then also update the author if there's big issues. Um, an example of you want to make sure that there any big issues are really noted to the author, and obviously we're there to act as kind of a backstop in case something is just easily can be done. But any issues that you note, we really want to hear about them. We will take them into account and we'll likely send them on to the author. But if something is on the borderline, please let us know because we want to make sure all issues are resolved. And then issues for new members. I think it's maybe worth pointing out that if you're a fall or winter LAE watching this, that if you the only really issue for the new member I can think of that they wouldn't know how to solve would be pulling, so say a case or something is not being able to found, but it's on ILL or a book is on ILL. If you let the new members say that they need to book pull it and second edit it, there's a decent chance they won't know what that is. So just make sure that you're letting them know if there are any outstanding sources, and if so, to kind of let them know when they're in, but also understand that they're probably not going to know what that means to bind or book pull something if they're on page proof. But just let them know if there's any issues, and also keep in mind if there are any projects that could go into the article, like it's really poorly blue booked or something like that. We're always looking for people to help out and get more hours. We have a lot of people doing 2 credits this semester. Yep, then you fill out the third LAE Comp checklist, of course, and send that all into us with an email with a link to this folder. Thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, obviously feel free to reach out to me and Jacob. We're here to help, and good luck. You're almost in the clear. Thanks for your help.